What's going on, Eric? How you doing, man? Hanging in there? How are
Doing
the
great.
vibes over there?
The vibes are great.
My chief
This
vibe
is
officer.
literally
I don't even
interesting.
think I said your title at the top of the hour or at the top of the show. I should have.
I feel slighted,
Yeah, that's my bad,
honestly.
man. That's my bad. Yeah, what else? What else is on the mind right now?
I just think it's great stuff.
Yeah,
It's great stuff. There's so many
awesome.
use cases. It's interesting how there's so much work being done, the implementation of
Yep.
AI and how to do it well, but it feels everyone's still, the use cases are still very similar, which is
Yes.
still a lot of research at scale, enrichment, outbound. So I'm interested to see. I think in the next year we're going to start getting huge unlocks on what people are actually doing with this layer that they have.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
I think that's spot on. I think that's and the next session we're going to go over some AI copy. Me and Eric are going to do some live teardowns. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing kind of firsthand. But yeah, quickly, I think to that point, I agree. The way I say this is I think at the end of, I don't know, 2027, there's going to be 10 very obvious use cases of AI and specifically focused around go to market. And if there are 10 that are the obvious, this is the playbook, this is how you run AI in go to market, and there's 10 bullet points, I think we know of three of them today. Right. And so it is CRM enrichment. It is maybe some email copy. It's still sort of early, but human in the loop email copy, maybe deep research, things like that. And then I think that the other place where it shows up is I think all of these, honestly, the folks that partnered with us for this event today are a good example of Sumble is doing a bunch of really interesting things with AI, but it's dispersed throughout their product, right? Instantly has features that are AI features. And so it's these things are just going to start popping up. I mean, you see it already. I was in Google Sheets yesterday. There's this little the magic icon of the AI icon. But you click it and it's, oh man, that thing just populated my spreadsheet exactly how I wanted it to, with some sort of complicated formula that I would have had to previously look around for a while and do. So I think the use cases are definitely yet to be discovered, which is but I think the features are starting to pop up and they're starting to be kind of everywhere. And I feel very energized in the last year or so by this moment in time because the playbook is not known yet, and we're
Yeah.
all trying to figure it out together. It feels, at least when I entered SaaS 10 years ago, there wasn't really a playbook, and now there is. It's like you hire these people, you buy these tools, you go run this playbook, and it's just a matter of execution, which is just less interesting to me. So I'm
Yeah,
stoked.
it's
I'm trying
exciting
to
to think
figure it
about.
out.
It's exciting to think about because and a lot of these cases are the same playbook, just done better. It's exciting to think about what the new unique things we'll be able to do that are just completely different, which I have
Yeah.
no idea what those will look like. Because
Yeah,
it's going to buy the way buyers buy will change completely, and then it'll have to match that, which
that's exactly right. That's
is
exactly
unique.
right.
All right, so we're talking AI email copy now.
We're going to talk AI email copy first. Quickly, let me tell you about Instantly. They do automated outbound at scale. Okay, I am going to. Eric has not seen these. I have four examples of emails that I want to talk through. And the game is this AI or is this not AI? And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing on the front lines with AI email copy, specifically generated by these magical models that we have. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. And you should be able to see it. The first one is from Cursor. Do you see that?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I can read it out loud as well in case anybody's listening. So the subject line is saw your AI tooling wreck. I first name, noticed company is hiring devs with AI coding tool experience. Sounds like you're serious about building this into how the team works, not just letting people experiment. That's the hard part. Most eng orgs I talk to are struck between, quote, everyone uses whatever, and, quote, we should probably have a strategy here. Happy to share what's working for teams making that shift if useful. Do you think this is AI or do you think this was human written?
Well, first of all, I remember in Nico's session he said people give AI flack for sending bad emails, but you have to compare it to a baseline of what humans do, which can oftentimes be really
Fair.
bad. So I just want to point out that whether this is AI or not, it's a very good outbound email and better
What, by
than
the
a
way,
lot
what
of
makes
like,
it, what do you think, what makes it good? Just give me
well,
some.
just I think two things. One, the specificity. So I don't not sure if you could send this to anyone else. It's like
Mm-hmm.
clearly not spray and pray. Sorry, AI
Mm-hmm.
tooling rec. Hiring
Yep.
devs with AI coding tool experience. That's two very specific signals that you're leading with.
Yep.
And then two, the tone. It feels like a human tone, even
Mm-hmm.
just the word rec,
Yep.
as opposed to your AI tool, your job posting for developers with AI, or it says devs with AI coding tool experience, so developers, so those two.
Yeah.
thing. So I don't know. I feel well, I want to see what people in the chat say.
Yeah, I was
Everyone's
gonna
going to
say
say it's AI because these are all AI pilled people on this summit.
chat.
But
Yeah, in the
I'm going
chat,
to say
AI, put your vote in AI or, sorry, I should have done a poll for this. AI or human? What do you think? AI. Everybody think, oh, human. We got a couple humans. Okay, human.
so. I
Uh,
haven't seen this yet, but can I say both? Is that possible or no? Do I
what do
have
you mean
to-
both?
Well, it's AI enabled, but the human writes it, I think.
Ah, I see. Okay, so the research was done by the AI
Human in
and
the
then the
loop.
human in the loop.
Yes. Yeah.
This was fully AI. This is fully
Wow.
AI, fully automated AI. So there you go. By the way, I saw somebody shouting out, only one signal, no good. I love it. The bar is rising. The goalposts are moving every 3 months.
Wait, I want to hear if do people think this is good, by the way? Give this email a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 in the
Yeah,
chat as well.
say, yeah.
Damn, Edward.
Hey, Ron, what's up, man? By default, I assume every outreach email is AI from now on. 4 out of 10,
Oh
2
my
out of
God, it's
10,
getting
7 out of
roasted.
10, 7 out of 10. You guys have a high bar. I love it. Okay, interesting.
We're gonna have to bring people on stage and get them to show their own.
I was gonna say, yeah, we need
We
we
should
need to see
do
what a 10 looks.
better.
Either way, it's slop. Wow, amazing. Okay, Josh, strong words. If you can somehow send me an example of non-slop, please do. Ah, interesting. Yeah, 10 out of 10 compared to a median SDR. Interesting. Sounds like you're serious. Hit me wrong. I agree, David. That was kind of
Yeah, it's a good call.
a tell. No M dashes. It's very unfortunate. I still use M dashes in my writing. I'm not going to lose them, but M dash is definitely an AI tell. Okay, next one. Lovable is sending out an email. Subject line is React plus Supabase plus Tailwind. Hey, first name. Noticed companies' job posts mention React, Supabase, and Tailwind. That's exactly the stack Lovable outputs out of the box. Curious if your teams explored using AI to scaffold new features or spin up internal tools faster. A few companies with similar stacks have cut their prototyping time from weeks to hours. Worth a quick chat to see if it fits in your workflow. What do we think? AI or human?
That's me eating the slop and throwing up. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
the slop is
Respectfully.
the AI breath is strong on this one.
The noticed is just so overused in my opinion.
The
Yeah, yeah,
noticed
bro.
is
That's
very
good.
overused. Exactly. Not great. I know. I wish there was a
Only
way.
shitty humans talk that. That's
I wish there
funny.
was a way to, yeah, get people to submit theirs. I should have done that ahead of time.
I'll handle
Um,
it. If you have great email, one great email, put it that's written by I guess, or not. Drop it in the chat. I'll find it if you drop me a link to a Google Doc or something.
oh yeah, perfect. I love that. Okay, so let's jump into the next one. Yeah, that one was slop for sure. Okay, from attention, one of our sponsors. Saw you run Medic. It's the subject line. Hey, first name. Looks like the company uses Medic, which means your reps are either religiously updating those fields after every call or they're not. Attention auto populates Medic or whatever other frameworks or fields you use straight from the conversation, no manual entry, no CRM, hygiene nagging, no end of quarter data cleanup scrambles. Worth 15 minutes to see if it fits how your team runs? Question mark.
Hmm.
What do we think, chat?
I don't know.
Tell it to
Interesting.
include a typo, that helps. Yeah, this is Cody, you're right. This is going to be the new prompt. Is in the prompt, it's don't use M dashes and include at least one typo so that it passes the Turing test.
Yeah.
7 out of 10, if the signal is correct, seems human.
I mean, Brendan, what's your well, what's
I
your
think this is a good email, by the way. I think this is
Yeah,
a
I was
good
gonna
email.
ask. Yeah.
I think, by the way, this is one thing I feel very strongly about is email copy does not matter nearly as much as reaching
Right.
out to a company at the right time that's in market for your product or has the problem that your product will solve. And so if I'm in the market for whatever, a CRM, and some random CRM hits me up with a cold email and says, hey, we do this, that, and the other. Do you want to check out our CRM? I'm not actually, yeah, I am. I've been looking around for CRMs. I need to buy one in the next month. Doesn't matter if the email is not very good. It can actually be pretty generic. And the inverse is also true. If it's a perfect email that references common connections or references my business and it has all the context and it says, do you want to see my AI CRM? If I'm not in market for an AI CRM, it doesn't matter how good that email is, even if it was perfectly written by a human with no AI slop. I'm just not in market. And so we're going to talk about signals in the next session here, but I think the signal or the intent, the timing is 10 times or maybe 100 times more important than the email itself. And so the way I think about it now is using really smart, clever, thoughtful, valuable intent signals to drive the messaging is ideally what I want to see happening. What do you think on this one, Eric? AI or not AI?
I think it's AI.
It's AI. This one is
Yeah.
also AI. It's pretty good though. I think this one's pretty good. This one's Claude, by the way. Claude, I'd say, is pretty good. These don't add any value. Neil, I agree.
Yeah.
I think you have to add value in some way more than ever before. It's noisier than ever before. It's really hard to stand out from that noise. And I think I actually don't the call to action for what it's worth 15 minutes. I think asking for something in a cold email is not great. Ideally, you can proactively give them something of value. Yeah, exactly. Stop asking, start giving. What are some examples? If people in the chat, if you have an example of something that you do in cold outbound that gives something proactively versus ask for something. What's up, Bill? Yeah, timing matters more than copying cold outbound. Love it.
And we could, well, Brandon, what would you do if you were attention here? One of your sponsors, maybe on top of leads of everyone clicking the poll here, we'll also give them some free consulting.
Yeah. I mean, I think if I'm a RevOps person at, let's say, Okta, what would be valuable for me to receive? I think an obvious one maybe would be a CRM audit, an automated CRM audit. So, okay, cool. You see that I use Medic. Great. You pull that from a job description. Maybe Stumble has your job description data. And so it shows that these are the companies that use Medic or MedPick, some sales methodology. You definitely have fields in Salesforce that reps are supposed to fill out. Attention can automatically fill out those fields. What would be helpful for me to know is in my open opportunities, what percentage of those fields are filled out accurately? And not even just filled out, because you can make those required fields. But if I could, in a couple of clicks, connect to my CRM, which is sort of risky, but whatever, or there's some friction there. If I can click a couple times and see, okay, I've got 842 open opportunities right now. Out of those, 72% are filled out accurately, right? So I've got a 30% gap. I think that would be something interesting. Yeah, I think, done for you service or insight is better than a free tool. I agree. By the way, yeah, dropping lead magnets, I think is awesome, Jeff. What's up? Yeah, if you vibe code something in Lovable or your favorite vibe coding tool, I think that's a good way. I feel marketers love that. I feel salespeople should steal that one.
Yeah. I think there's an interesting, so this person you're saying, what do you say, RevOps at Okta, for example, getting this email. The thing they probably care most about is not, do I have a problem with reps filling out MedPick or not, or Medic or not? It's how does attention solve this compared to other alternatives? So I feel something that answers that question for them in the email, even if it's PS, here's how X very similar company is using attention to like action on this data. Something like that helps them get clarity on the product. For something like this, where the value prop's super clear, it's different. You had one, I think, I forget, it was in the link to post for Bravado or something, where they have open job.
That's right.
Postings, and it's here's X candidates. I think something that helps people get the next step of their next immediate question answered, which is, are these candidates good for attention? It's, does it actually work? So here's an example of a company doing it. And then the obvious next step is they're going to want to talk to you. So I think that is interesting.
Yeah, totally. I think that's exactly right. Yeah, the Bravado example was they have a database of sales candidates. And so when a VP of sales is hiring enterprise AEs, that's the signal that gets picked up automatically and then queries the database in Bravado and finds, based on job rec, two or three candidates in their database that could be a good fit for the company that just opened up a job rec. And it sends those to them. And it's like, hey, you should chat with Sarah, Mary, and John. And by the way, here's their profiles. By the way, if you want to see more candidates like that, let me know. Happy to show you. And so that VP of sales literally gets candidates in their inbox that are a good fit for them for the job rec that they literally opened up yesterday.
And that's valuable because their next question when getting an email from Bravado, if they're in market, which them having an open job is a proxy for them being in market. But their next question is, are the candidates any good? So if you can answer that in the email, I think that's why
it would hyperlink out to the candidate, so they would see, is this up
right?
Standards? But yeah.
So you're answering that right away as opposed to them being, oh shit, I got to get on a call, take 30 minutes of my time, context switch in order to answer this question. I think
Yeah,
that's a good frame for
exactly.
good outbound.
Yeah, love it. I love it. Okay, Jeff, I see your email in the thread here. Oh, by the way, last thing on the Bravado one, that email works today. If you wait to send that in 6 weeks, they've already hired those 2 enterprise AEs. So that's why the timing is so important, is every day or every week you need to be scanning for these signals. And then either automating it or having a human in the loop. I think mostly like you want to have, unless it's like super high volume, I think having human in the loop makes a lot of sense for the last mile delivery. But the timing thing is super important. Okay, I'm gonna read this live example here from Jeff, and then we'll do the last one. We got a few more minutes here on this session. So sample of potential AI email. Brendan, since you recently did your webinar, I'm curious how you'll be following up on the attendees. I've got some ideas that will automate the process and keep the discussions going. Can I share a few of those with me? Okay, with you. I think that's a good signal. The thing I would do is just share them. I don't want to respond and say like, yeah, share them with me. Just share those suggestions proactively. That's what I would recommend. And if they're good suggestions and you have like a service that can help do that for me, then I would do it.
Brandon, how do you feel about proof? It's like this cringy thing when people are like companies
Yeah,
like XYZ are doing XYZ. That's cringy, but also
I
if
think it
Jeff's like,
works. I think it matters. Social proof we're
right?
talking about.
Because if Jeff's like, we worked with,
Yes.
whatever similar event who you
Yes.
know, and then
Yeah.
we did this for them. That like is so helpful to answering the question. The immediate
Yeah.
question I have here is like, are the ideas any good? Which maybe you can answer that by sharing the ideas, but maybe I need some credibility.
I think that's right. I think that's right. Totally. Soham, what's up, man? Hop on in 5 minutes. Stoked to hear your session. I love that you're in here. Yeah, something we haven't talked about, importance of the subject line, which is typically not AI generated. Nothing matters if they don't open it. I think that's right. I try to do, again, for what it's worth, it can't look like a marketing email. Saw you run Medic. Actually, I think that's what I would say. I think that's one of the best mental models for this is what would you manually write if you were manually researching and writing an email, a sales email? It would not be attention plus Okta, Salesforce, population, CRM hygiene, or whatever, some marketing type thing. You're not trying to do buzzword bingo here. You want it to sound conversational. Ideally, it's even just a handful of words, 3 words or less in the subject line for email. And then I definitely subscribe to the idea of you're trying to get the subject line is getting them to open it, as is the first line of the sentence, which is super important. And then each line of the email is getting them to read the next. And then the framework, the most basic framework that I've used for many, many years, which I still think holds up, is line 1 is connection point, line 2 is pain, line 3 is gain, and then line 4 is call to action. So connection point is maybe a signal. Saw you using Medic. Pain is it's really painful to do these things manually. Gain is we automate it for you. And then call to action is do you want an audit, or do you hopefully something that is proactively giving them something of value, not asking for a 30-minute demo. Okay, let's jump into the last one here. This is from Stripe. It's a subject line is saw your post on cross-border payments. Hey, first name, just read your LinkedIn post about the headaches of paying international contractors, so I figured this might be timely. Stripe just rolled out stablecoin financial accounts that let you hold, receive, and send stablecoins in 101 countries. Settlements are near instant, and transaction costs are about half what you're paying on traditional cross-border rails. If international payments are growing, line item might be growing. A growing line item might be worth a look. Happy to walk you through how it works if useful. What do we think, AI or human?
What do we think? I'm gonna guess AI.
You can guess AI. Going with the trend AI, Chad is on to me. Chad is on to me. This is also, spoiler, AI. This is AI. I think, by the way, I kind of
AI, I do not like that. Brutal. Roasted in the chat.
Yeah, all right. Blame Claude, not me. No, I think you should blame the prompter, right? I think this is getting to the point where if you give it enough examples, it can write very good copy and to your liking. However, I think, Eric, to your point earlier, for what it's worth, I am really seeing research is really, AI is very good at doing lots and lots of deep research. Companies, rocks that are doing that at scale for your accounts are amazing, but then being able to have the human in the loop for the last mile tweaking the messaging, making sure that there wasn't any context that were not in the systems that it's connected to before hitting send. Even going to LinkedIn, doing a little bit more research on maybe common connections, stuff like that. I think that's a good motion and a good way to kind of think about the nuance versus just having this binary AI good for email copy versus AI bad for email copy. The last thing I'll say, so to your point about subject lines, I think the other big can of worms here is the emails have to deliver. And so when I think about companies instantly that do the email warming and the rotation, this is a whole thing in and of itself. And 2 years ago, actually, that was really difficult. Now with tools like Instantly, it's kind of done for you. But you do have to think about these sorts of things if you're not just sending them from your primary domain, because you could have an amazing researched email and a perfectly written AI draft that was reviewed by a human and crafted perfectly. If that email is not delivering into the inbox, it actually doesn't matter. So I think that's another big caveat to all of this.
I feel that's where that's a big opportunity for using AI and go to market that not many people are talking about. It's like people are talking about how to find who to reach out to. They're talking about how to say what to say, but then it's always okay. And then how are you doing that? And then we send emails, we send LinkedIn messages. Some people are we do account level ads, kind of. Some people, and then people are doing in-person stuff that's working really well. But with the volume increase, how are people actually breaking through? And then how can you use AI to do that better? That's a big open question, which I think is going to be very impactful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's spot on. All right, cool. Well, thanks for jamming with me on this session. Thanks for interacting. Thoughts on signature blocks? Last question, Jeff. Thoughts on signature blocks and email? Personally, I think you got to go just kind of text only, no links, no images. It's unfortunate, especially if you're not sending from your primary. If you're sending from your primary domain, you're wild and probably going to get great open rates and reply rates as long as you do. And you're probably safer there. But if you're doing other mailboxes, I would just keep it text only, keep it very simple. Ramp still sends most of their email from primary. Ramp also sends a lot of transactional emails. Same with Zoom. There's companies, this is a little known fact. I don't have any insider information here, but yeah, ratio is all that matters. Exactly. If you're sending millions of transactional emails from a primary domain, then if you're only sending 10,000 sales emails a month on top of that, then they're going to deliver because you have this crazy ratio. So yeah, and also internal emails. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you for joining me in that endeavor, Eric, and everybody.